Coming up on this episode is the Weekend Box Office Report. As always, it is not a surprise that there is a new number one, but it was close to being a very shocking number one. And then I've got my thoughts on two movies that appeared this weekend, um, the Iron Lung movie and Melania movie, and also what's coming up and my top five most anticipated movies this month. Here we go.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go. Whoa. Here I come. Here I come.
We will watch your career with great interest.
You are such a kid.
This is where the fun begins.
It's showtime.
And here we go.
Welcome into another episode of the Movie Geek Podcast. I'm your host, George T. And of course, this is your weekend box office report. We also going to have the top five movies that I'm most anticipating. And I will have a few things to say about two movies, Iron Lung and Melania. But let's get started because it's going to be a pretty packed show. So we'll look at the top five for the weekend box office. We got number five, Shelter. The new movie by Jason Statham made 5.505 million. The reason why I had to say 05 is because Avatar also made 5.5, but it finished sixth. Zootopia 2 moved down one from 3 to 4, making 5.8. Number 3, the Melania documentary made 7 million. Number 2, Iron Lung at 18 million, and this week's number 1 was Send Help. I did do an episode on that on Monday. If you didn't see it, go ahead and watch it. $20 million it made. Send Help was so good, and may make my top 25 at the end of the year. But obviously, there's a long way to go and a lot of movies to see, and yeah, it's going to be a crazy year. So let us look at the box office for this weekend. We got a lot of foreign films coming out in very limited release. But first, we're going to set out with Twisted, a movie that is coming out in small release. A con artist, a real estate scam unravels into a living nightmare when she's captured by a surgeon who has terrifying plans for her. So this looks pretty creepy, and we'll check it out. Got a question though. When did the month of February go from love to horror? Just a question. There's a lot of horror movies coming out this month. I'll go through that when I get to my top five for the month. Sarat is the next one up. This movie is up for Oscar awards, and it's literally just coming out now. So again, hard to know what this is, and and see how it stacks up with the rest of the foreign films, even though the touted films for it is The Secret Agent, and it was just an accident. But Lewis is traveling through southern Morocco with his son, Esteban. They're searching for his daughter, who has been missing for 5 months. Last seen at a dance festival in the desert. As the pair travels from party to party, they hear a semi-mythical rave near the border of Madarina, descending into scorched terrain as a not-so-distant global conflict encroaches. Lewis and Esteban are soon drawn into a primal landscape in which they must walk a tightrope between heaven and hell. So I know I've previewed this before because of the Golden Globes and so on. So, but it's just coming out now. So we got another movie, an Arabic movie called The President's Cake. In 1990s Iraq, a 9-year-old Lima must bake the president's birthday cake. She scrambles to find ingredients for the compulsory task, fearing punishment if she fails. So, um, a uh, little documentary type movie, um, obviously taking place in the 90s. So, um, check it out. Pillion is an Irish movie. Colin, a timid man, meets Ray, a confident biker gang leader, who initiates him into a submissive relationship, challenging Colin's mundane existence and prompting personal growth through their unconventional dynamic. So it is in limited release, and check it out. My Father's Shadow. This is a Nigerian movie. Two young brothers escape Lagos with their estranged father during the 1993 Nigerian election crisis, witnessing both the city's magnitude and their father's daily struggle as political unrest threatens their journey home. Very powerful. Um, 1993, that whole crisis was very intense. So this movie is definitely intense. All right, we got a Japanese film, Kohara. Upon the death of his father, the leader of Yusaki Gang, 14-year-old Kaiko, is entrusted to a family kabaki actor. Alongside Shunsuke, the latter's older son, he decides to devote himself to his traditional theater. So this is, the father, um, you know, has passed away, and he wants his young son to become a famous actor, and pretty um, pretty uplifting kind of movie. We got a Dutch film, Jimpa. Hannah and her non-binary teenager Frances visits her gay grandfather Jimpa at in Amsterdam. France, Frances expresses a desire to stay with their grandfather for a year, challenging Hannah's parenting beliefs and forcing her to confront past issues. Um, it's obviously a subject that a lot of parents have to deal with, and this movie deals with the non-binary community. So it looks pretty interesting. All right, we got a Spanish movie also, Kali Malga. Uh, this one is about Maria, a woman named Maria who fights to keep her childhood house in Morocco after her daughter decides to sell it. Um, kind of a strange, um, kind of a strange movie. Um, don't really know how to describe it, but um, that is a Spanish film and limited release. Another Spanish movie is an animated movie. This one is called Buffalo Kids. Arriving in New York City in 1886, two orphaned Irish siblings embark on a wild cross-country journey aboard a transcontinental train. They make a new friend, encounter heroes and villains in their quest to find a new home. And again, it's a journey of fun and the unknown for two kids. And that is an animated movie. All right. Speaking of anime, we've got Japanese anime. Scarlet, a sword-wielding princess, embarks on a dangerous quest to avenge the death of her father. She soon meets an idealistic young man who shows her the possibility of a future free of bitterness and rage. Um, and again, Japanese anime sometimes is so wild, and this one looks just as wild. So that'll be very crazy. So that'll check out. Um, three of the big movies for this weekend. Solo Mio. Left at the altar in Rome, a heartbroken man, played by Kevin James, chooses to go on his honeymoon alone. As he navigates this city meant for two, he begins a bitter-sweet journey of self-discovery. Um, Allison Hannigan and Kim Coates is in this film alongside. Um, it's sad, but it's a little comedic, but it's also a little um, romantic movie. So there is that. I think it's an Amazon movie, so it probably won't be out long, but it will be on Amazon. All right, we have another Dracula movie. Um, why I don't know. Um, Actors that I don't know, except there's only one actor in that film that I do recognize, and that's Christopher Waltz. Um, when a 15th century prince denounces God after the devastating loss of his wife, he inherits an internal curse and becomes Dracula. Condemned to wander the centuries, he defies fate and death, guided by the hope to reunite with his lost love. I don't know. I don't know why we're obsessed with continuing to make Dracula movies. I mean, there's so many of them, too many to count, too many to go through. Um, but here's another Dracula movie. So if you're into Dracula, you're probably gonna want to check that out. I don't really have any interest. It was on my list of movies as to why we made it. So, Strangers, Chapter 3, the final Strangers movie. Um, I am not going to see this one. I'm going to wait until the end, and then I may do like a binge watch of all the Stranger movies, and probably do an episode way down the line when this one comes out. But Maya squares off against the masked killers one last time in a brutal full circle reckoning of survival and revenge. So Maya has continued to go through hell and back, and this one will end one way or the other. Crazy movie by the trailer, so should be wild. And again, I'm waiting to see this movie because I just want to binge watch them all one more time. Because obviously I remember the original one with Liv Tyler, and then I saw the prequel, but I kind of just got hazy with the Strangers movie, so I'm just probably gonna binge watch it and watch it all together. Finally, a movie that I'm gonna try to see this weekend, Whistle. Terror strikes when a group of misfit high school students discover an ancient death whistle. So this is like the Monkey that came out last year. Um, you know, uh, Pretty creepy movie. Daphne Keane is your lead actress. She was the so-called daughter of Wolverine from Logan, and obviously Deadpool and Wolverine in a starring role here. So I'm gonna try to check this out this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see if we can. All right, let us talk about Iron Lung for a minute before I get into my top five. So Iron Lung, um, Mark Fitchback, better known as the internet on the internet as Markiplier, uh, grabbed a $3 million budget and turned it into a huge profit, making $18 million. $7 million, uh, actually $8 million on that first Friday. It beat Send Help on Friday. A huge accomplishment in that, um, this is a YouTuber who obviously has, you know, what, like 3 million followers, at least 3, 4 million followers. He took a project of his, and just did it, and it really worked out. Um, the film is described as a grim, catastrophic, and varying into a horror film genre. Um, and again, it was adapted from a low budget indie video game that um, you know is is a favorite among the indie game community. Um, so this was obviously big for him. He his many followers who probably saw him play the game over and over again went and got to see this movie. He didn't license it. He didn't license his name. Didn't star in a four quadrant IP play. Didn't partner with a legacy distributor to manufacture legitimacy. He made the movie himself. Wrote it, directed it, produced it, edited it, financed it, and starred in it. Crazy. True creative control. Some say that this could be a warning to Hollywood. The future of theatrical filmmaking may not solely be studio bound anymore. It may belong to the people who can bring an audience with them. Again, he did not do a huge marketing push. He pushed it on his channel. He did everything. He financed it. He wrote it. I mean, just the amount of it. And he didn't do, press junkets. He didn't do marketing, on the, on billboards and TV spots. And it just worked. Now, how long is it in the theater? Even Markiplier himself does not know. I saw an Instagram post of his where he was grateful for all the support. He did not know how long the theaters were going to be playing it for, but I'm assuming he will have, a deal with a streaming service now that this movie is made popular, and we'll all be able to see it somewhere. Unless he doesn't want to do that. I mean, he's got options here. I mean, he's made a ton of profit off of this movie. Again, $3 million budget. He's already made 18 million. Boom. And he didn't do any of the big stuff. So I give him complete props on that for taking a chance and getting it done. So hats off to Markiplier. So, all right, my top 5 for the month of February. Look, there's so many movies that are coming out. Um, some horror. There's a lot of horror movies coming out. Um, you know, the Mortuary Assistant is coming out, and based on a video game. I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's time for a horror-based survival game that I have loved for years. Dead Space. I wrote a script for it. I would love to figure out where to send it to because I really would love to see this game be adapted. We've seen so many movies adapted from games. If you have followed me for a while, season 2 had History of Video Games, part 1 and 2. If you are new to the channel, go and find that and take a look at it, from the highs to the very lows of um, video games adapting to movies. It's crazy. But Mortuary Assistant did not make my list, but 5 did. and it was a very difficult choice for me. Um, but number five is Dreams, the Jessica Chastain movie that I talked about in my most anticipated, you know, movie one. If you haven't seen that episode, that is the beginning of season three. So, or after the beginning of season three, go back and watch that one. But anything Jessica Chastain is in, I'm going to go watch. So, um, I'll be previewing that next week on the box office report. How to Make a Killing. This movie looks very interesting. Glenn Powell stars in it. It comes out in 2 weeks, and it looks, like I said, pretty interesting. But I'll preview that in 2 weeks. Good luck, have fun, and don't die. If it looks very much like a one battle after another type movie. Um, it comes out next weekend. Now, there are like literally 5 movies next weekend that I want to see. And the next two are going to be in that category. Cold Storage was in my top 25, and Crime 101 is my most anticipated one. And again, there's a lot of movies that I want to see next weekend. And I will go see, hopefully, maybe all of them. Crime 101, Cold Storage, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. We also have The Mortuary Assistant, and Ash and I are going to see Wuthering Heights. That was her call, and she'll guest host, hopefully, with me after we see the movie. So, but again, there's a lot of horror movies coming out, and you will see that when we get into, you know, weekly box office report. That literally there's a ton, and they could have easily made this list. Easily could have made this list. There's one with Olivia Holt that is coming out. Um, it's a zombie apocalypse movie. Pretty crazy. But again, I will preview all of that as we go along. But those are my top five. Crime 101, Cold Storage, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, How to Make a Killing, and Dreams, the Jessica Chastain movie. Okay. And finally today, we're going to talk very briefly about um, Melania. So, depending on who or what you follow, as a man who is independent and really worries about this country, because I can choose either one or none. I don't follow Democrats or Republicans in the way a lot of you people do. Um, I vote for who I think would be the best candidates. But I'm also not a dummy. And so this movie did beat expectations. But is it the greatest thing since sliced bread? No. This is the highest, most expensive documentary in the history of documentaries. Now, as you know, most documentaries, or maybe you don't know, but most documentaries do not have a huge budget in them, and nor are they funded by Amazon. Now, documentary or documentary creators go out and they grassroots documentaries. Right now, I am checking out all the documentaries for the Oscars, and man, there are some really good ones. I still wish the John Candy documentary would have been there, but this is the most expensive um, documentary in the history of documentaries, and it will never make its money back. How Amazon thought that paying $40 million and committed another 35 million for marketing? What are we doing, Amazon? What are we doing? Because now that you've backed that horse, you're going to wind up putting it on your streaming service, and then it won't make any money at all. So how do you make your money back? I don't know. So this this story or this documentary has party lines divided. The red and blue divide in this country shows the ticket sale reflecting, because there are reports that the Republican parties, or even Donald Trump and Amazon, bought tickets for the fan base in certain areas that are red states, so that they could, promote this movie and have people see it. Meanwhile, in the blue states, ticket sales were null and void. There were a lot of snippets and snapshots of theaters that didn't sell any tickets, and yet the leader of the free world, supposedly, says that it is, a blockbuster hit. Well, no, it's not. But again, believe what you want to believe, because everything that is going on in this country now is not black and white anymore. It is whoever believes what they want to believe, because we all know what's going on in the world right now, and it's getting crazy. I posted on my Instagram account the Civil War movie, and I kind of left it there with the sole purpose of seeing what kind of reaction I could get, because I really do feel that we are headed for a civil war, and nobody is going to stop him from just doing whatever he wants. Because, unfortunately, the Republicans backed their horse to him. And now some are starting to realize that come midterm elections, which is coming up this year, unless Trump somehow blocks it. And then I have no idea what is going to happen to this country when he does. Because obviously he knows if the midterm elections do happen, all of you Republicans are going to lose your jobs. And it is going to be a Democratic Congress, and it is going to be ugly. Because all he does is yell and preach that he knows better than everyone. Everybody's dumb and stupid, and he's called his own Republican Party leaders the same thing. His top officials are all pretty much brainwashed into this. I don't know what will happen to them once he is no longer in office, but I can guarantee you a lot of them are going to have a hard time undoing what is going on in this country. And again, there could be a competent Republican ready to take control and kind of undo everything. But we know the Democrats are going to have a huge advantage here when it comes to the 2028 election, because right now, frankly, the Republican Party, it cannot be trusted. He should have learned this when he got elected the first time, when he said he was not a politician in 2016 when he was elected, and he has made it a conviction of his to break the traditional boundaries of political and just become pretty much a dictator at this point. I know a lot of that's going to rub a lot of people wrong, and I don't care, because I worry about the future of this country for my kids. And everybody should, with everything we have seen, from the radical Fox News, who pretty much is in his back pocket, to everyone else. He's having journalists arrested because they don't fall in line. Just absolutely crazy. People are getting shot in the streets, and it's not criminals. It is U.S. citizens. Innocent, innocent. And it's disgusting. So again, from his glorious seat, saying that Melania is a box office smash. It should be number one in the. No, who? What? You literally stole money from Amazon. Let's not forget. You also had, let's see, Venezuela taken over. Okay, we know that there's some bad leaders in this country, but you know what the U.S. never did before? They never took over us, a country and said we're going to run it. No, I don't remember ever doing that. But we know why. Because you wanted the oil, and you're pocketing all the money that supposedly these tariffs are supposed to help us with. You're basically a big swindler. And unfortunately, your fan base is eating it up, thinking that they are going to get some kind of help from you. And then basically, you're people that literally spill this crap out there to us that we all can see with our own two eyes is not the truth. They're all going to face the consequences one of these days. And the reckoning will be swift and hard. But anyway, so again, the film got a Rotten Tomato score of 11 and only a few positive reviews. Must have been Republicans or just Trump supporters in general. I watched a snippet from Fox saying that, oh, we went to the theater and it was standing room only. Literally, I've never seen standing room only in a theater. Never. Okay, I went to see Avengers Endgame. Okay, not one seat was empty, but not anybody standing up. They don't allow that in theaters. So again, who do you believe? I mean, it's just crazy. And again, 7 million little suspects. Again, how much that was, um, the Republicans buying seats for, friends and family and just people in general. Um, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand this world anymore. So, and again, not a Democrat, not a Republican, but you should be worried for the worst in this country, and it's really disgusting. Again, we got the Olympics coming up, and we got the Super Bowl, and he wants to send ICE agents to both. And then, in the first time ever that I remember, we're going to have two halftime shows. One, the All-American one, opposite the actual Super Bowl one, because the president wants to not go to the Super Bowl because of who's performing, because he thinks Bad Bunny is an immigrant. Again, what are we doing? And why are people so entrenched in this guy who will never, ever stop doing the shit he's doing? And he's fleecing us left, right, and center. And that's what I fear is when he is finally out of office, it's going to take forever to dig out of this. And that's why I worry for my kids. And you should too. Okay, that is my rant on that. Again, I try to stay out of politics. I try to stay out of things like that because, again, it's not my place. I don't like talking about it. But when this this world is as volatile as it is. It's scary, and I'm telling you, civil war may break out, and Alex Garland played it pretty well. Although some of the states are a little off, though, because Florida is usually a red state, and they're going after a fascist. But it is what it is. But all right, well, I'm done talking now, and I hope that everybody gets to check out Send Help, because that was really good. I also have another movie review for Wrecking Crew. Yeah. All right. And I will see you all at the movies.
You like that, baby? Let him know where I came from, yeah!
See you next time. Bye.
Waiting for you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's all, folks.